right, welcome back to Tri-Effort. I'm Johnny Del Balso, and we are on to episode 5 of this Kona build vlog. Today it is Thursday, August 6th, which is mine and my wife's 10-year wedding anniversary. So pretty big deal, right? We've been together like 17 years, but yeah, our 10-year is today. We're actually going to celebrate that tomorrow, Friday, whenever we have a little bit more time together. But yeah, it's pretty cool. This week's vlog, we're going to try to keep it more of the weekend work. I'm cutting out some of the earlier, midweek stuff. Keep this one a little bit shorter, or maybe a little bit more, I don't know. Just didn't want to take out the camera earlier this week. But anyways, I'll fill you in with what I did get in this week. We did end last week with that sprint try. I did a longer run after that, so I was a little bit sore Monday. So I did a hour and 40-minute easy ride. That felt pretty good. And then Tuesday, I actually had a really good bull session. So I did 3x400s and then 6x100s, whatever. It was a good session. I got like 3,000 yards or something in there. And then yesterday, I did my intensity bike. So an hour ride, 3x10 minutes at sweet spot intensity. Took out the tri bike, felt really, really good. So that was nice. Oh, and then after work, I did went out to where the triathlon is going to be in next weekend. And then we did a preview run. A bunch of people came out for that. I think we had like 30 plus people. So that was cool. We just did a lap of the course there. So that was kind of like a nice recovery run for me. So today we have an intensity run on the schedule. My plan is going to be 3x8 minutes at threshold, and then 4x1 minutes at like my 5K pace or so. So we'll see if the legs turn on for that. And yeah, go out there and get this one done. I'm gonna run from here, and then I'm hoping I have enough time to go stop by the diner and get me a quick little breakfast. I was gonna try to run and do a recovery swim after. Not enough time for that, so we're gonna push that swim to after work. All right, I'm getting in a nice 2-mile warm-up, and then we're gonna start this first 8-minute threshold interval. I'm gonna allow myself to build up into that interval. So ideally I wanna see the heart rate get above 160. So whatever that pace, wherever that pace lies, it is what it is. Probably around low 6 minutes or so. Yeah, again, let the heart rate progress this first interval, and then the second and third we'll try to nail spot on, kind of what the heart rate does. So anyways, I'm running out of battery on this camera, so I'm not going to talk too much for this workout, and I'm probably going to be out of breath for a lot of this one. So I'm doing 2-minute easy jog in between each interval. We'll check back in. All right, I am 6 minutes into this first interval, and my heart rate just got to threshold. The heart rate takes him a while to respond. So if I were to go out that first minute targeting 160, my pace would have been way overkill for that. So always progress into those first ones, because sometimes this threshold work, it's a bit sneaky. All right, first interval down, averaging like 6:08 pace for that. I'm again 2-minute recovery in between, and do not be scared to take these recoveries nice and slow. We want to get that heart rate back down before we attack the next interval. So I'm gonna check back in once we're done with these 3. All right, thresholds are complete, and man, I am sweating like crazy. So there was 3 intervals. I hit the first interval pace was 6:08, second interval pace 6:07. That last one was like 6:11, but my heart rate was the highest at the last. It got up to 164, so I capped the pace there. But yeah, a little 2-minute recovery here, and I'm gonna hit 4 5K intervals, probably around 5:45 pace. So we'll check back in whenever I'm back home. All right, I just finished 5 of those 1-minute intervals, but I was doing 1-minute recoveries in between each of those. And I just want to reiterate the fact
you want to take the recoveries super easy. So my pace for the on intervals was like 5:30 to 5:40 pace per mile. My recoveries 4 minutes slower than that, so 9:40 to 10 minutes. So keep that in mind. If you're someone that maybe your on intervals are 8 or 9 minutes, that's just going to be a walking recovery, and that's totally okay, because we want to get the heart rate back down so you could nail the actual working intervals. So just keep that in mind. Never be you know, embarrassed to walk or something. If that's what the body needs, that's just what it needs, and that's where you're at. So anyways, I'm gonna do a probably 2-mile run back home, shower up. I'm not gonna be able to go to the diner, but I'm gonna try to whip up a quick. All right, we are back, run complete. We nailed that one. We got 10 miles in, an hour, 11 minutes, 7:07 average pace, and 147 average heart rate. Got the max up to 170. Yeah, feeling very, very good about that one. And we'll put some graphs in the background, but you could kind of see those little intervals there. Cool. Yeah, that was a good one. I don't do a lot of speed work in my training, but I've been throwing a little bit more in for this build and over summer for short course summer. So that was a workout to get me ready for the Olympic try next weekend. Especially with a little bit of that intensity at the end, but also just trying to get the speed up before we dial in some longer distance volume for Kona. So feeling good about that one. I feel like the heart was pumping today. So I got to go shower. I'm sweating like crazy, super humid out there. I had to take off the tank top and wring it out while I was running. But yeah, that was, I'm happy with that one. So anyways, I'm going to try to shower, try to cook up some eggs or something to eat, and get off to work. Let's give Growly some love too. I'm always filming Lulu. Hey girl, say hi. Little cutie. She's a demon, a menace. So are you. So are you. All right. Peace. All right, it is Saturday morning. We have a long brick workout to do today. Long ride on the bike means more bottles on the bike. So I'm going to put on 3 more cages because right now I have the bike set up for just sprint and Olympic tri racing with the 1 cage here. And I got the in-frame tank. But yeah, so I'm going to throw these bottles back on. Kind of one of the problems of going back and forth between sprint racing and Ironman training is different bike setups. But this stuff's super easy. I am thinking for Kona, I might actually use the personal needs on the bike this time, because where they have that personal needs station, it's at the halfway point, and the halfway point on this course is after the big climb up the mountain or whatever. So I'm thinking that it might be more beneficial to keep the bike lighter, not have 4 32-ounce bottles on the bike going up that climb. And then, you know, however long it takes to stop at personal needs, maybe, I don't know, 30 seconds to a minute, that might be worth the gain of having a lighter bike up that climb. So I might be doing things a little bit different for this one. I've never used personal needs in any of my racing. So we will see. But anyways, for today's ride, it's going to be... it's supposed to be 4 hours. We'll see if I do that, but it's going to be a stamina ride. So I'm going to do 10 by 10 minute, like zone 3 tempo intervals, power based on the bike with 5 minutes easy in between each of those. I'll do like a half an hour warm up and whatever ride to finish out, whatever the duration my body wants today. I think I left off just on Thursday. I did that run. Thursday evening, I did go out on the bike. I got an hour and a half ride in there, just nice and easy. Rode into the night a little bit. That was nice. And then yesterday I just did a pool swim. Horrible swim session for me. I was just in my head about that one. When my mind's not there in the pool, can't swim too good. So anyways, I just felt like I was sinking the whole time. So I'm hoping maybe tomorrow I'll go do some open water swimming and get my mind straight there. But anyways, we'll check back in whenever we get to this workout and get on the bike. right, we got it ready to go. So let's get out there and get this workout done. All right, I had a little issue. My Di2 wasn't charged and it wasn't charging. So I had to troubleshoot some wires. So I took apart all the connections and whatnot. And I found what I think was the culprit was just a little bit of contamination with the wires. I'm trying to put this down here. I'll just hold it. But what happens with this bike, with this in-frame tank, I take this in and out to fill it and clean it. There's a wire, your main wire, that runs down to your bottom bracket up to the battery, up into here. This water tank, it puts pressure on that wire and it could kind of like jostle that out of position. So that's kind of what happened here. This is actually the same issue that I ran into at Ironman Arizona, and I took apart the whole bottom bracket and whatnot before I realized I could just take out this frame tank and find the wire that way. So anyways, I got that all squared away now. It is charging. I think I could charge this for like 10 minutes and I'll be good for my ride today, but I'm gonna let it go a little bit longer than that. But yeah, I took apart all the wire connections and cleaned them out a bit. So even the ones up to the shifters here. So just always a little bit frustrating whenever you got to troubleshoot something like that. I feel like you got to take the whole system apart. But we will be good to go here in probably the next 5 minutes or so. We'll get out on the road. All right, so we're out here on the bike. I'm doing a 35-minute warm-up. My power meters keeps going in and out, so I might have to do this workout based off of heart rate, but we'll see. Workout's gonna be 3 to 4 hours with 10 by 10 minutes at tempo effort. So I was gonna target 250 watts for that. We'll just see where we could keep the heart rate at. Try not to let it fall off as the intervals go on. Okay, I think we got power back, so we might be all right. But I'm gonna start this first interval here in a minute. We'll see how we do, and we'll check back in. All right, I am 2 hours and 25 minutes into this ride, just crossing 60 miles right now. I finished up 7 of those 10-minute intervals so far. I've been keeping them all steady at 250 watts. My power meter's been dropping out every now and then, so I'm kind of just keeping an eye on heart rate and perceived effort, but for the most part it's working. Definitely starting to feel it now. I haven't done a long ride like this in a bit. But we're gonna be building up pretty much all the way into Kona with the long ride, so we'll start feeling better and better as we go. So I'm not sweating how I feel right now. But anyways, I got 3 more of these to go, and we should get back to cap this ride off about 3 hours, 45 minutes or so. Definitely dealing with more headwind on the way back than the tailwind I had going out. So, but anyways, we'll check back in. All right, you guys, I just do not have this one today. I did 8 of those intervals, but the body's telling me shut it down and go aerobic the rest of the way back. Secure the volume for today. Don't worry about pushing intensity or whatever. I'm trying to do two different things right now, and I really shouldn't be. I'm trying to increase volume for Ironman training, but I'm also pushing intensity for short course racing. That run workout I did Thursday, that was an aggressive run workout for myself. And then to come right into a higher volume brick workout this weekend, the body's just not responding. So I will watch that from here on out. We're gonna do the Olympic try next week, and then I think I'm gonna shut down a lot of the intensity work and just focus on getting the volume under my belt. Before I add more intensity to that volume. I just thought I could hop right back into one of the Ironman workouts I did earlier in the year, but not today. Yeah, this workout, this isn't a waste or anything. This is gonna be a great volume building workout. This is kind of just one of those like intuitive training moments that I have where I know what the body needs, so let me adjust and alter the workout to suit my needs. So that's how it goes with a lot of my training, and I enjoy it. I feel like that's something, I don't know if it's something special I have or anything, but just I can put a limiter on myself whenever I need to, and I think that's smart for Ironman training. So this we'll get there. We'll get to where we want to be these next few weeks, I'll tell you that. All right, we are back. That one was pretty tough, not gonna lie. I got in 88 miles, 3 hours, 47 minutes, and 23.3 average mile per hour. The power there, it says 190, but my power was dropping out a whole bunch in that one, so none of that data is gonna be useful. It was 86 degrees, and it says it feels like 91 degrees. That's probably right, because I was definitely feeling it out there. So maybe that plays a factor into how I was feeling that last 90 minutes of that ride. I took in the hydration and everything. My body just felt like it needed a little bit more volume under it before I push it for these longer rides. So, but anyways, like I say, that was still a very good ride for me. I don't know, I'm not going to do the brick run off the bike. I feel like that's a little bit too much right now. I keep skipping out on these brick runs, so, but whatever, we get them on race day, right? So I am going to wake up and do a longer run to breakfast in the morning, so I'm just going to try to save my legs for that. And then me and my dad are supposed to go jet skiing tomorrow, so he's got some vintage stand-up jet skis, so we'll go baja those around at Fairport, and maybe I'll get in a little open water swim while I'm doing that too. So I'm gonna go take a cold shower, get some food, and rest up. All right, good morning. It is Sunday morning. Today we're gonna get in a little bit longer run. I'm gonna run to the breakfast diner, meet up with my mom and Melissa. Probably my favorite run to do, because at the end I get to eat. This should be about 10 miles today, nothing too crazy. We're gonna keep the pace pretty chill. I'm gonna run with this run flask and my bottle, just in my Nike trail shorts with the dual pockets on there. Pretty much my go-to run shorts, so I could carry my hydration without having to actually hold it. But anyways, I got like maybe 80 grams of carbs in here, electrolytes and whatnot. This isn't gonna be a intensity run, and I'm going to do my best to actually keep it slow today. So the body needs it. So anyways, I'm gonna get to this one and we'll check back in. All right, I am 5 miles into this run. We're at 40 minutes. I'm keeping it easy. My legs feel so heavy today. My left knee's kind of bothering me a little bit. Yesterday, me and Melissa took the dogs for a walk, and I did this thing that Melissa hates, where I let go of the leash on Wooloo, and she sprinted away from me. So I had to sprint after her in my Crocs or whatever. And by the time I caught her, probably like a quarter-mile sprint later, yeah, my left knee was just kind of giving me a little warning there that I was a little too aggressive. So technically that was my brick run. But yeah, anyways, keeping it easy today. I'm kind of remembering I don't do well with the long ride Saturday, long run Sunday approach. So this isn't going to be a long run today, but I think once I do get into like the 16 plus milers, I might be moving that to midweek and just restructuring my weekly training plan. All right, that is run complete. We just got 8 miles in, 8-minute average pace, 133 average heart rate. Yeah, my body is feeling very, very heavy with that one. Sweating like crazy too, very humid out. But that gives me about 15 hours of training this week, so pretty good. I know I didn't film a lot, but we did get a lot of work in, so I'm happy with that. I am still gonna go jet skiing with my dad, so that's a little bit of cross training. Definitely gonna be using some different muscle groups with the legs on those stand-up skis, and then I might even try to get in a little bit of open water swimming there too. So that'll just I'm not gonna film any of that. We'll just recap this week right now. I was expecting this to be kind of a big build week, and I see I did get the volume in. I'm just not too happy with how I'm feeling ending this week right now. But we got the Tri-Clee Olympic Tri next weekend, so we're gonna do a bunch of race prep workouts for that. I'm gonna try to put in a real good race there, so that's gonna kind of be like a down week with that Olympic Tri, and then full swing Ironman training after that. No more monkeying around with these shorter races and you know, kind of ruining some of the weekend volume whenever I do that. So I'm just kind of rambling right now, but it's kind of where my mind's at. We're gonna have about eight weeks to really crush it, and I'm looking forward to it. We're gonna put in some work for this one, and I'm thinking this will end up being my best build yet. So exciting things to come. As always, I thank everybody for tuning in, following along, liking, commenting, subscribing. Stick around, stay tuned for more.
It's gross.